Start. Okay.
E andiamo adesso con la Seat Leon Supercoppa. Un momento.
Welcome back to Mugello for race 2 of the Italian Superstars Championship. I'm Clive James McNeil. This is round 4. And before race 1, Pierluigi Martini was leading the championship in the Zach Speed Chrysler. Yes, that awesome 300C with Carl Racing BMW of Gabellini in second place. But after Gianni Morbidelli suffered an electrical failure, for that is what it was in race 1, while 5 seconds in the lead, that handed the win to Stefano Gabellini. And Martini got penalised 25 seconds, effectively a rolling stop and go for punting off the BMW of Roberto Pepini. So once again, Stefano Gabellini leads the point standings just by 1 point, but it's important. Stefano Gabellini at the moment, going into this race, 88 points, Pierluigi Martini on 87. So they just swap around in the championship. Max Pigoli stays where he is on 82 points. Gianni Morbidelli, a retirement, but he still stays in 4th place. And Mauro Cesari moves ahead of Roberto Pepini, and Roberto will not like that, into 5th place in the championship. Then Roberto Pepini, Francesco Ascani, Christian Gadina, who came off before basically the first corner, just breaking into it, shares 8th place with Fabrizio Armetta, and Alessandro Bernasconi also not having a very good race in race 1. Well, we saw in race 1, as I said, Christian Gadina, number 69, out on the first corner. I asked him what happened. He said, well, he just lost the back end of the Movie Sport BMW 550i. Hard on the brakes he was. It shouldn't have been a dirty part of the circuit, but it just swapped ends on him. Andrea Chiesa, meanwhile, in the Maserati Quattroporte, broke the drive shaft of the Swiss racing car, and which is unusual because speaking to him before the race, he said, we were a little bit worried about the drive shaft, so we changed the bearings. So make of that what you will. Let's hope the person who actually did change the bearings has a record of his work, and we'll be checking it later. Well, Habitat Racing, the BMW of Alessandro Bernasconi, he ran off the track at Buccini. Incidentally, that corner, Buccini, around the back of the track, just before the start and finish straight, there it is in the back. A couple of the drivers were complaining that maybe there was something on the circuit because our new boy out there, the youngster, 22-year-old Nico Pincastelli, I'll try and get this name right, sorry about that. Pincastelli, that's it, Nico Pincastelli. He ran straight on there, a little bit over enthusiastic, I think, into the corner, but he still says he thinks that there was something down there that might have made him run off his first ever Superstars race, a beautiful BMW M3 E92 it is, and that left him in last place for the race. Unfortunately for the winners, the rules are in Superstars that the top 8 swap positions. So there's the track for you, 5,000. Well, welcome back to Mugello for race 2 of the Italian Superstars Championship. I'm Clive James McNeil. This is round 4. And before race 1, Pierluigi Martini was leading the championship in the Zach Speed Chrysler with the Carl Racing BMW of Gabellini in second. But after Gianni Morbidelli suffered an electrical failure in the first race, while 5 seconds in the lead, that handed the win to Stefano Gabellini. And Martini got penalised 25 seconds. Pierluigi Martini effectively suffered a rolling stop and go for punching off the BMW of Roberto Pepini. Once again, Gabellini leading the point standings. Well, as they clear the grid, race 1, we'll just quickly review that. We saw the number 69 Christian Gadina out at the first corner. He lost the back end of his Movie Sport BMW 550i while hard on the brakes. Now the grid looks very strange at the moment. You see Nicola Calderola in pole position for this race in the Vicari Motors BMW. Right next to him, the Felito Jaguar of Alessa Cacciari. Second row, Francesco Ascani, number 57, Roll Motorsport partner to Gianni Morbidelli. And then the Zach Speed of Pierluigi Martini. 48 years old, the guy is, and still racing as if there's no tomorrow. Row 3 is a Carl BMW of Sandro Bettini, and then Mauro Cesari with the other Carl BMW, on the third row, sharing the third row. Fourth row, Max Pigoli, MPR Racing, Max Pigoli Racing Mercedes, and Stefano Gabellini. And that is the top 8 from the last race reversed. Well, that is the way they're going to have to go. Behind them, another Filito Motors Jaguar sharing the fifth row with Fabrizio Armeta's BMW. And back on the sixth row, this is not nice for Gianni Morbidelli, the Roll Motorsport driver, number 1, sharing second row with the youngster, 22-year-old Nico Pincastelli in the RGA sportsmanship BMW. Then it's Habitat Racing's Bruno Bollini sharing Roberto Papini on row 7. Finally row 8, Andrea Chiesa and Christian Gadina. And that's on row 8 as they go around trying to warm their tyres. And that is a major problem for the Zach Speed Chrysler. They have to run safety reasons, a particular pressure, and they want to run at a higher pressure, and they're not allowed to really, and so their tyres are going to be cold at the start, and running a lower pressure effectively means that when you're racing, the tyres get warmer, the pressure in the tyres goes higher, but for the first lap or two, running a lower pressure, you're stressing the sidewalls on this Chrysler, and it's carrying a lot of extra weight. As we said in race 1, you're penalised if you win. Unfortunately, you get a 30-kilogram penalty, and compared to some cars, that Zach Speed Chrysler is carrying well over 100 kilos of extra weight due to one thing or another. Now, other things that we've got to mention: Gianni Morbidelli was definite favourite for this race, but now well down in the points. He suffered 3 retirements in the season from 7 races. Imola in race 2, Adria race 1, and race 1 here. But he did score a point for pole position, so that's all right. Stefano Gabellini, second race win. In Adria, he won race 1, but 2/3 as well, and consistent results mean that he leads the point standings. 88 points for Stefano Gabellini. Pierluigi Martini just 1 point behind him now after the first race on 87, and Max Pigoli on 82. Then Gianni Morbidelli stays where he is in 4th place, but doesn't gain any points, just that 1 point extra for pole position. So it's going to be quite an interesting start here with Nico Caldarola, the Vicari Motors BMW, holding pole position. There it is, the blue, the predominantly blue one with the 2 white stripes, and next to him will be the Ferlito Motors. Yes, it should be, with Alessa Cacciari's Jaguar, and I don't see it there. So I only see one Jaguar, so it's possible that the Royal Motorsport Ascani number 11 will have moved up behind him, and then there's Zach Speed, Pierluigi Martini now on the straight. That's a very, very good start for Caldarola. The green lights, he's really put the hammer down well, but look at the power of this Zach Speed Chrysler. It's going to eat into that, and hopefully it's going to try for the inside and get into the lead, and Caldarola can do nothing about that behind them. That's got to be Ascani, number 11, but doing what he needs to do in that really heavy car to maintain any chance of scoring points. Pierluigi Martini out in front in the Zach Speed Chrysler again, and that's Max Pigoli. Max looking up the inside, got a lot of power here, but there's not a lot of room there. Number 52, that's Sandro Bettini, shuts the door on him. So right out in front and making the most of it. A little bit of a pass up the inside, 58. Oh no, that's Roberto Papini, and that is his own fault as he hit the brakes. The back end came round. Roberto Papini from way back on the grid wanted to get into the points here, hammered the brakes too hard. The back end came round, he was not touched, And Christian Godina also going for a pass. Remember, Christian Godina starting in last place on the grid and already making up time, and I think he's already passed 5 or 6 people. But out in front, look at that. He's carrying so much extra weight, it's ridiculous, and by lap 8, lap 9, his tyres are going to be a real problem. Pierluigi Martini out in front, and Niccolo Calderola holding up in second place. He's doing all right there. And holding up behind him, that is number, it's got to be 54, I think, behind him. And everybody else absolutely shredding their tyres. The Maserati Quattroporte, 52 in fact. It's Sandro Bettini. And that was it, wasn't touched. Just in front of Gianni Morbidelli. Morbidelli lucky to get away with that, and also major braking problems for Emano Dionisio in the Felito Motors Jaguar. And look at the gap already. The Zach Speed machine, number 23, now nearly 4 seconds in front of Ascani in the number 11. Calderolo now in 3rd place, but losing, well, that was a little while ago, now losing a lot of places. And Max Pigoli pressing hard, number 18, right behind, into 3rd place now, and trying for 2nd place, but he's in the wrong, I was going to say he's in the wrong place for that corner, but it's on the inside, and unfortunately, the BMW didn't seem to be able to outbrake a much, much heavier car. That Mercedes C63 running around the outside. Max Pigoli obviously finding something. And I'll tell you what it is, in the first race he put in brand new discs and brand new pads, and they weren't bedded in, so he couldn't properly brake for the corners. But race 1 bedded the brakes in very well for him, and able to run hard on the brakes and even outbrake the lighter BMWs there. So the Zach Speed Chrysler still in the lead. But there's 2nd place, and 3rd place has been taken now. That's Stefano Gabellini now starting from 8th place on the grid. He really needed to make his way through the gaggle of BMWs behind him. He's done that, and Carl Racing Supremo reigns supreme again, and that's Ascani down into, it's got to be now around about 4th place, at least 3rd. Francesco Ascani in 3rd place and being chased by teammate Sandro Bettini, number 52, and already some damage on Gianni Morbidelli's car, so he must have touched somebody, and that might possibly have happened a little bit earlier on when we saw one of the cars go off. So a little bit of damage there, but Gianni Morbidelli pressing hard now. We have to tell him that's the one with a little bit of bodywork missing. A very, very fast car. And is it going to stay fast throughout the race? In the first race, unfortunately, the electrics gave up the ghost with just over 1 lap to go. And a very, very angry Gianni Morbidelli came back into the pits. I don't think anybody wanted to talk to him. And, well, they all wanted to talk to him, but I don't think they would have chanced it, the mood he was in. So there's your leaderboard at the moment. Pierluigi Martini way out in front, nearly 6 seconds. Max Pigoli in 2nd place. Gabellini does have 3rd. Then Ascani, but I don't think that's that at the moment. I think that's Gianni Morbidelli now into 4th place and breaking away from the gaggle of drivers behind them. Just under 20 minutes left in this race, plus 1 more lap. It's the Zach Speed Chrysler. Pierluigi Martini in front by nearly 6 seconds. Max Pigoli, the 2 big, supremely powerful machines. And yeah, they've got the advantage. They've got some real good speed down the straights, but it's the BMWs who should, by all rights, be able to pull all that back in the corners. So far, they haven't been able to do it. Gabellini in 3rd place and staying, very much staying, with Max Pigoli's Mercedes. Then a little bit of a break over the rest of them. Number 21 Bellini stuck in the middle of that pack, and this is the battle. Number 54 Stefano Gabellini and Max Pigoli. Now Max has the speed and he's shown that he has the brakes now, but Gabellini is tighter into there. Absolutely beautiful. That's Puccini again finding the grip, but he won't be able to stay with them on the straight. Gabellini says that he needs a little bit more power from the engine. He says something today has felt a little bit slower, but takes advantage of the slipstream behind that Mercedes. Having a look at Estanato. End of the start-finish, or straight, I suppose they call it, the rettilineo, which basically means straight line. And into Estanato, the rest of the BMWs go. Then into Luca and Poggio Secco. Down the back of this, and it's Gianni Morbidelli again. I did say that BMW E90 was fast, just posted the fastest lap, and that will get him an extra point. Needs to do more, going 4th place. Meanwhile, behind him, Christian Gadina. Always telling you he's a former downhill skier, but shown very much that he's changed his sport completely. And very, very fast. He was really, really angry about with himself actually for losing it on the brakes in the first race. He said he could have taken 3rd, but he'll need to do a little bit more than this. Currently in 5th place, just taking a Ascani. And Bettini down in 7th place now. And finally, that's Gabellini. He's got past Max Pigoli, and Max now under threat from the always ominous Gianni Morbidelli, who's closed up very, very quickly. Morbidelli coming from way down on the grid, on the 6th row of the grid, and 11th place. But Stefano Gabellini knows he's there, and we'll hope that Max Pigoli holds Morbidelli up for a little bit longer. He hasn't done it. Morbidelli up the inside, but can he do it? Can he do it? There's some power with that big Mercedes, 6-litre Mercedes, and on the straight it just pulls away again. And Gianni Morbidelli starting to think, right, can't do it there, tried it, where can I do it? Into Estanato. And Max has got the car well set up. Oh, into the gravel, that's not nice. And Bruno Bellini, Habitat Racing, BMW driver, who's taken over from Alessandro Bernasconi because they share the car. And now that's a brace of, well, more than a bucket or a couple of buckets of gravel, because I saw them scraping everything out of the car after Bernasconi went off in the first race. And now Bellini's done it as well. So no points for Habitat this time around. Up the inside, Gianni Morbidelli. Look at that, turning very, very tight. And unfortunately, Max Pigoli very, very wide on the brakes. Gianni has just broken away. But I think that was Max Pigoli just making a little bit of a mess of it on that corner. Couldn't do anything about it. And instead of having one indicator on, or the other indicator on as he had in the first race, has now got the warning lights on, hazard blinkers going. And Gabellini now in 2nd place. And all this time, Pierluigi Martini has been able to pull away. 7 seconds in the lead now is Pierluigi Martini. But we're getting to the point in the race where the tyres really start to hurt, especially on the big heavy machines. We've seen Gianni Morbidelli get past the Mercedes of Max Pigoli, the heavy Mercedes, very, very easily, very decisively, I will say. And Max unable to do anything about it. There's your leader, Pierluigi Martini in the lead. And a little bit of controversy in race 1 when he punted Roberto Papini off the track. At least that's what it looked like. He said that race direction said if you're going into a corner and you're level, the driver inside has the corner, but if you're not level, if you're in front, it's your corner. And he thought that it was his corner in race 1, and unfortunately race direction turned around to him and gave him a 25-second penalty. And he wasn't too happy about that. Making up for it right now though, because he's leading. But the lead has been cut. 5.4 seconds last across the line. So Stefano Gabellini really on a charge, and Morbidelli following him as well. And with these two fighting over places, Gianni Morbidelli pushing hard on Stefano Gabellini. Gabellini wanting to stay ahead of him, and they're both outstanding drivers. I can see that gap closing down, Pierluigi Martini will desperately hope that he's got enough time left, plus another lap, to stay in front of the chasing rivals, BMW rivals. Of course, one of them, Carl Racing. That's Gabellini and Morbidelli in the roll, BMW. Number 11, Ascani, 6th place at the moment. And that's Ermanno Dionisio. And unfortunately for Ermanno, doing pretty well in race 1, but his supercharger gave up the ghost. They come as standard with superchargers, so they can use it. If it comes as standard, yes, you can use it. But unfortunately, it gave up the ghost on him, and he didn't get a good result in race 1. Really trying for it this time, though, and looking forward to the new Jaguar about to appear. Sandro Bettini, I think, is dropping a little bit of bodywork, something flapping on the back of his car. And Andrea Chiesa, unfortunately, down in 11th place. The carbon fibre doors that he's got on there now not helping to keep the weight down as much as losing the entire steel bodywork that he's still got on. But okay, it's something. 4 carbon fibre doors must take quite a lot of weight off, but not enough. Still more development to go on that. But let's have a look at the time now, and it is coming down. Stefano Gabellini now only 4.1 seconds behind Pierluigi Martini with 12 minutes to go plus another lap, and you've got to think that come the closing laps of this race there will be a battle royal on for first place. Martini showed that he's not going to give up easily. The number 23, Zach Speed, Chrysler 300C, but he's really pushed hard and blowing 2 left-hand front tyres in practice, knows that he can't push as hard as he would really want to. Maybe the tyres have come to him. You never know. At the moment, it's not looking that good because he knows he's under pressure. Morbidelli knows that he's got a fight on his hands with Gabellini in front of him as well. So, looking at your leader, number 23, the Chrysler of Pierluigi Martini. And that's coming into your picture is Stefano Gabellini. Now there's a big gap behind, and not another problem. It seems there is definitely very, very slow here. A definite problem once again for Gianni Morbidelli. How much bad luck do you need? Morbidelli cruising around now, and there's smoke coming off the back of the machine. And who would have thought it? Gianni Morbidelli, a favourite for this race. Here's number 52, Sandro Bettini, and the bodywork I told you about flapping around, but Gianni Morbidelli has got to be crushed with this. And it's the rear tyre is completely blown. There was smoke coming off of it, unable to do anything about it. He'll have to pull in, shredding tyre all over the place, really pushed hard. Unfortunately, we were thinking that the heavier cars would destroy their tyres, but it does seem to be Morbidelli, who suffered from tyre degradation on the back of that roll BMW. That puts Max Pigoli into a podium position once again, but from last place on the grid, that's Christian Gadina, who's really pushing hard now. In comes Gianni Morbidelli. They'll have a look at the back, take it off. Well, Gianni's staying in the car. Obviously wants to see if he can gain any points from this, but the wheel has to be changed. They've definitely got it up on the jacks. And you're thinking, is it just fate that Gianni Morbidelli is fated not to finish any more races this season? That's got to be a crushing blow to him, and after a while you start to throw up your hands and go, whatever can I do? Everything has conspired against me. Electrical problems in race 1, now a blown tyre in race 2. While the other BMWs are going at it hammer and tongs. In 5th place, Ascani, number 11 versus Bettini. And the battle over third place carries on. Max Pigoli, gifted in race 1, not so gifted in race 2. Gianni Morbidelli going out again. They've changed the rear wheel. Haven't done anything to the front bodywork though. And Christian Gadina having a look round the outsides. Max Pigoli got that one covered. But remember, it's a much heavier car. Christian Gadina looking up the inside. Max Pigoli again wide. Christian saw that one coming. Round Buccini and onto the start-finish straight, but he won't be able to keep that because the power of that Mercedes will tell, and he'll just have to tuck into the slipstream and see if he can get past an Estinato at the end of the start-finish straight. 7 minutes left, well, just under 8 minutes left actually, and again braking hard. He's got the brakes, but will the tyres be able to handle what he's putting through them? And once again the winkers going. Max Pigoli hard on the brakes. Christian Gadina not in a position to challenge at the moment. Wide Mercedes keeping the former downhill skier behind him. Pierluigi Martini now look at the times as Christian Gadina has a quick look up the inside, but look at the times, 2.2 seconds now. Gabellini is closing that lead of Pierluigi Martini's down. Christian Gadina up the inside. This time he'll definitely have it. Christian going through and not making any mistakes. Max Pigoli now down into 4th place. Once again off the podium. Got gifted a podium last time because the heavier, much heavier car, but much more powerful car. Later on in the race, the tyres go off much more on these heavier cars, and the BMWs can take advantage. Christian, though, thinking that he had to come from last place on the grid, maybe he shot his tyres as well, but he's been driving like a man possessed this weekend. So much possessed by the devil that he champed on the brakes too hard in race 1 and spun himself off. There's a little puff of blue smoke from Max Pigoli, trying so hard to get as much braking force down through those Pirellis as he can. And this is your leader now, Pierluigi Martini. Stefano Gabellini right behind him. That's round about a second. 1.145 seconds behind him, taking 1 second out of his lead. 6 minutes left plus 1 lap, and you've got to say to yourself, what can Pierluigi Martini do to keep Stefano Gabellini behind him? And Stefano will definitely be on for this. He hasn't yet had a double race win, and this is what he's fighting for this time out. Now no longer under pressure from Gianni Morbidelli. Now only Martini to deal with. And Pierluigi will know that. He'll have his pit signals. He will do whatever he can to conserve his tyres. He knows that if he pushes too hard, tries to get away, he can blow a tyre, as Gianni Morbidelli did. So this is going to be fascinating to see. 5 minutes left for Stefano Gabellini to get his first double race win here. And here at a particularly fast track where you'd think it would favour the more powerful machines. But they are more powerful machines, and they are tyres that everybody's got to use. They're all Pirellis, they're all on the same rubber. The heavier cars scrub more of that rubber off in the corners. And the lighter BMWs, what you gain on the straight, what you gain with power, you're going to lose as soon as you touch those brakes. And with Pierluigi Martini, a reminder again, he's carrying a lot more weight from winning the last race at Mugello, added another 30 kilos to an already very heavy machine. And trying to keep your tyres in some kind of order throughout the entire race is a big task, especially with a very overweight machine. Pierluigi Martini, an expert driver, but even forceful manoeuvres can cost you, and it cost him in race 1 when he punted Roberto Papini off. Though he thought he was in the right, his car was ahead. Papini thought otherwise, and Pierluigi Martini was penalised for it. Right now, though, I think Stefano Gabellini knows he's got 4 minutes plus 1 lap to do something about this, and he'll watch can see the problems that Martini is having with that Chrysler, and choose his moment particularly wisely. He'll have to do it very, very wisely. He's seen what happens to other BMW drivers when they try to pass one of the all-time Formula One greats. So Gabellini a lot faster. He's closed up now. He's just going to wait, take his chance, and when he does make the move, which I'm sure is coming, he's going to make it as smoothly and as decisively as possible to give Martini not a chance of coming back on him. And you can see where the Chrysler hammers the brakes harder and earlier than the BMW. BMW looking very, very light on his feet, and Gabellini looking to be able to place that exactly where he wants it. Won't be pushing too much now, or just lets Martini know. You see the back end of that Chrysler step out under power as the back end switches around. Gabellini now, he'll start to see where he can make the move. I'm not going to second guess him. I don't know where he's going to try to do this. It's up to him. Martini on the brakes, as smooth as you like, tries to hold his line and make that Chrysler as wide as possible, and see how tight Gabellini can do it in the corners, but won't even attempt to pass on the straight unless it's into Estinato at the end of the straight. Just stand there in the slipstream, letting the big Chrysler pull him along so he can keep up close. The power means nothing if you can sit in the slipstream as Gabellini's doing. Behind them, Christian Godina 20 seconds down. This is the battle for the race win, and the battle on the track at the moment. Christian Godina has comprehensively dealt with Max Pigoli. Max is over a second behind him now, doing what he can do on the straights. That was very wide. Pierluigi Martini coming out wide, using all of the track. 1 minute 30 seconds left in of regular time, and then they have another lap. So you can see Gabellini pushing. He's going to have a look. Just lets Pierluigi Martini know that he's in his wing mirrors, and there to take over as soon as a small slide is detected on the Zack-Speed Chrysler. But Martini is using all this time to say, if you're going to leave it to the last minute, you're going to find a huge, wide Chrysler right in front of you, right where you expected to pass. Very, very experienced is Martini, and if anybody can keep that BMW behind him, it's him. Christian Godina, look again, shows himself in the wing mirrors, both sides, and trying to make Pierluigi Martini adjust his line just a little bit too much. Now the push is going to start. 20 seconds left of regular time in this race. Now Stefano Gabellini is going to look. He's seen what Martini can do, and look at that, Martini knows this as well. Under brakes, locking up, and Gabellini doesn't need a second chance. Those two, the front lock, the rear locks, Martini trying everything to stay behind, in front of that BMW, and will try everything to pass him now on the straight. But Gabellini, it's Gabellini's choice of line going into Estinato. Can he keep it? Can he keep it there? No, once again Martini uses that start pretty straight to get in front, and Gabellini's going to have to do it all over again. He will push hard, but he does know. Look at that, a slide from Martini. Gabellini tries, but he's in the wrong position for the next corner. Martini again pushing it. I can't believe it's again a last lap fight, as it was at Mugello, as it was whenever Martini is in front. He will try to hold that line. We see blue smoke coming from the front, the rear of Martini's Chrysler, but Gabellini will not be denied. He's going to push all this. This is the last lap. Can Martini stay ahead? Can Gabellini get his first double race victory? Martini doesn't want to hold it, doesn't want to stop staying in front. He's just got to hold this car on a line that blocks the BMW. That's what he's trying to do. He knows he can't do anything about it in the corners. Gabellini is trying desperately to push. And Martini moves across again. Gabellini in the wrong line for the next corner. Martini swings the Chrysler across him again. And once again tries to brake. Can't do it. Hasn't got it so far. Gabellini, I think he's got one more chance to do this. Martini still in front. Gabellini has got to push hard. They're coming out of Corinteo, coming down to Biondetti 1, Biondetti 2, the chicane, and then Buccini. What can they do about it? Gabellini desperate to get past. Desperate. He needs to make a lunge, he needs to make a move, but he does know that Martini has done it again. Round the outside he has to go because he locked up the back wheel. And no, I won't have the power to get past. Will I on the start-finish straight? Can I make it across the line before Stefano Gabellini? He's got a foot to the floor. It's almost a photo finish, but it's got to be Gabellini who takes the win. Gabellini, that was awesome. That was a good move. He left it till Buccini got up the inside, and he knew the power of the Chrysler was coming back at him, and he knew the Chrysler was going to fight across the line. It's a long way to the start and finish line, and Gabellini's foot was riveted to the floor. Gabellini gets third place. Great for them, but it is definitely a win for Stefano Gabellini. Fascinating last couple of laps. Real cat and mouse stuff. But that is a double win now for Stefano Gabellini. He will be ecstatic about that. Pierluigi Martini will go over and shake his hand saying that was a good race. I tried everything to keep you back, but at the end I couldn't do it. Didn't quite have enough power, not quite enough to take him on the line. It must have been inches in it. The door is open, and you know who's waving to. He's waving to Martini behind him. That was good, that was. And Christian Gadina will take the last place on the podium, the number 69 from last place on the grid. Look at this across the line, and because we're in front, you've got to look at the shadow, you've got to judge it to see who crosses the start-finish line first. The start line, the finish line, the checkered flag taken by Stefano Gabellini by a matter of inches. The time says it all, 0.047 of a second, 400ths of a second just behind, and the Carl BMW team go mad again. Stefano Gabellini, wonderful double race victory. Max Pigoli not able to get that podium place back from Christian Gadina. Max Pigoli and the Mercedes finishes in fourth place, and Mauro Cesare, number 56, in fifth. Sandro Bettini, number 52, in sixth place. And then Ascani 7th, Dionisi 8th place. Calderolo, it's a top 10 finish for him. He started in pole position, finishes in 9th. And Andrea Chiesa brings the Maserati Quattroporte home in 10th place. There's Cacciari, Morbidelli, Bolini, all not finishing the race. Unfortunate, but there, number 54, your race winner, and congratulations definitely from Pierluigi Martini behind him. I told you that's the first thing they're going to do, is congratulate each other. What a terrific race that was. Gabellini, well deserved. He sat there, he bided his time. And Gadini, third place from last place on the grid on an awesome drive. And yes, you'll need a drink after that. Team come up and congratulate him. Everybody is around. This has been an absolutely awesome race. Fascinating from everybody involved. Gadini coming from last place, dead last on the grid, brings the Movie Sport BMW right on to the podium. And there it is. Gabellini takes the win, the double win here at Mugello. Pierluigi Martini congratulates him as soon as he gets out of the car. Gadina third on the podium, then Max Pigoli, Cesare, Bettini, Ascani and Dionisio. That's your top 8. And you see the times, look at that, 20 seconds. And this was from the start. And Calderola out in front. He was 8th in the first race, but it didn't take long for Pierluigi Martini to destroy any chances that Calderolo had of staying out in front from the first corner, and unfortunately with braking problems, and that must have been when when Morbidelli got tagged, actually, because that was Papini coming off, and I think when Papini came off, that was what damaged Morbidelli's bodywork. So it wasn't Morbidelli who punted him off, it was actually Papini who swiped the front of Morbidelli's machine. Right behind him, more battles, and Morbidelli taking advantage of over-braking from Max Pigoli, and goes out and all of a sudden destroys the rear wheel, the rear tyre totally gone, had to come in for a new tyre, unfortunately not giving him any advantage, losing a lot of time there. And Christian Godina going past Max Pigoli and taking 3rd place. But the battle was always going to be between Gabellini, who was closing down on Pierluigi Martini until the final lap, and stood behind him, sat behind him, saw where Martini was having problems on the brakes, and once again at Buccini, a corner which is so easy to lose it at. Martini didn't lose it, sat behind Gabellini and thought maybe with my power I can take him on the line, used every inch of that slipstream and slipped out and didn't quite this was the first pass, didn't quite fend Gabellini off, because Gabellini stayed with him all the way, and the first time it didn't work through Buccini, but the next time he had a go, but knew what happened to Papini in the first race. But once again Martini locking up, and Gabellini taking full advantage of that. Once again Martini would stick behind him and try to use all of the slipstream and the power of that Chrysler to do something across the finish line. Wasn't quite able to do it. 400ths of a second was the gap, and Gabellini crossing the finish line. Carl team going absolutely mad, as they would do, and the first person to congratulate Gabellini on the win, Pierluigi Martini. What a race, what a fascinating race. Gabellini going home with a brace of wins. And Christian Godina's team, the guy with the hats and the sign on the hat saying "Get out." There he is, Christian Godina from last place on the grid. And a third, another cup, another rostrum place, makes it 2 in a row. No, it doesn't actually, because it was Mauro Cesari. I was getting mixed up with Mauro. That's unfortunate. So after taking the race 1 win at 88 points, he takes another 20 points, 108 points. Stefano Gabellini leads the championship as we go to Portimao in Portugal on the 2nd of August.
E al secondo classificato Pierluigi Martini.